But he had come with the intention of growing me or telling me off. Because several months or years before, I had been responsible for changing the life of his dear friend, Taimani. And God had used me to bring a word over Taimani's life that took him away from St. Carlos, from the sounds of the Bible, to pastor a church in Hawaii, which he did. I'm sharing this story because Vaka himself was the one that talked to me about this story. When Taimani had gone away from St. Carlos, he deemed that I must be a bad person because I'd taken his special friend Taimani away from him. And so his intention was when he came to Vaka, he was going to growl at me and tell me off. I had no idea that this was going to happen. But we get into the first session, and I'm one of the speakers at the conference. And again, by the grace of God, God gave me a word, a prophetic word for Vaka. And I went from being an enemy to becoming a friend. And on the basis of that, the journey began. And it's been a journey that I have counted a privilege. In 1992, or just before 1992, Vaka and some Pastor Vaka invited me to come to America. And so I came to America and spent some time here. And I want to speak this man one-on-one in his own country, here in America. That means, Vaka Jr., I have to apologize to you this morning. I heard you talk about how you felt sometimes a bit disconnected because you know where your father invested in other people. I have to admit, I was one of the people that took your faith from you. Because sometimes when we came, my wife and I came to visit America, either Vaka or God would give up their bed for us to sleep in, or they would shift their children out of their beds so we had a bed to sleep in. So, Vaka Jr., I'm sorry, I took your bed. But I'd like to think it was a worthwhile donation. And the fact that I'm standing here holding your father's memory today is a testimony to that bed must have been comfortable because I kept on coming back. But I was stirred by the words of Barry today. I have something of the same passion in my heart as I stand before you today. As I said, I am not physically a Tongan, but I carry a heart of Tongan. And this heart has been something that has been with me for nearly 40 years. My first time in Tongan was 40 years ago, in 1986. 1986, and I think 40 years of being a guest to the nation. But I've had such recent conversations. I was here in America in October this year gone by, and had the privilege of spending time with Vaka and the family, staying in the family home once again. But because of recent conversations with Vaka, I feel I need to say this publicly. Vaka was a champion. Not just a champion for the sake of the title, but he had a cause, he had a burden and a passion in his heart that was such a strong motivation. He believed in the unity of the Spirit of Christ. He was a champion to bring reconciliation and healing wherever it was needed, whether it was in a family situation or whether it was in a people situation. And one of the cries of Vaka's heart to me was always, Alec, how can I bring my people together? How can I bring my people together? And See, a house divided itself against itself cannot stand and will not stand. But a house that stands in unity will stand. And that was a champion of unity. Vaka,